Yo, what's up? My name is DJ Lethal, and this is my man.
Scott Bolin.
And you're on Good Company, and you're watching Good Company, and we're with Good Company, so enjoy
Right.
some good.
Company. My name's Scott Bolin, and you're watching Good Company. Today we're with the man, Mr. DJ Lethal.
Today I'm DJ Peaceful, but
Peaceful.
I am known as DJ Lethal, aka Leor DeBont,
Leroy. Yeah, I
aka
like that.
Don Corleone. But I changed that because people figured it out when I check in hotels. So now I have a new pseudonym.
Yes.
But you can call me Lee
Lee.
if you want.
House of Pain, Limp Bizkit. How did you get your name, DJ Lethal?
I mean, I used to do graffiti back in the day, and I'd go through names and stuff, but my name's Leor. That's my real name, Leor. And, everybody just called me, yo, Lee, what's up, Lee? And I was just kind of like, Lee, Lethal, like, ooh, that could be kind of cool,
Yeah.
DJ Lethal. So it's just kind of a mixture of my nickname, Lee, which is short for Leor, because I'd be like in school, like Leroy, Leron. Nobody could pronounce my name, liar. So I was just like, fuck it, Lethal. Like,
Yeah.
So same kind of thing, yeah.
It's tight, man. I like it. And like growing up, we always like, what kind of music you listen to growing up? I mean, what got you hooked on the turntables and?
Well, my father was a musician.
Oh yeah.
So I was born in a country called Latvia. And this was still behind the Iron Curtain days. I was born in 72. And my father played guitar. And he was like actually in a band with like his mom, which was my grandma, and his sister. And he self-taught himself how to play guitar and was in the army. And in like 74, he was just like, I want to be a rock star in America. So he basically grabbed my mom and me in like a bearskin jacket, and we like hopped on some train and escaped and went to Italy.
Wow.
And my father played in bars and stuff, and then somehow we got a visa through Israel and ended up in New York City.
Wow.
And then my father was like the Ricky Ricardo of the Russian scene,
Yeah.
of the, back in the, 80s gangster New York. He was the guy.
What was your dad's name?
Taylor Dane was actually like one of his backup singers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, nobody knows that, but Taylor Dane sings in Russian. She used to be a Russian,
Really?
and these are big restaurants.
Yeah.
Russian people have like elaborate weddings and parties, and any excuse to drink vodka.
Yeah.
They're like, let's do it big. Yeah, so his studio was always my bedroom, and I always grew up laying in the booth at the bar while he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it just came kind of naturally, but he was such a good guitar player that I was like, some people could go in the family business. And I was just like, I can't even, I try, I would try, and guitars were always around, but.
But it didn't come natural though? Like when you played, it didn't
Not
feel right?
really. I used to go to Toronto every summer because my uncle owns a music school in Toronto. And I would go every summer, and my cousin already was killing the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I'm going to go downstairs and bang on the drums. And that, I just was down there playing drums, and I was like, oh, okay, beats is my thing.
Yeah.
I was like all about the beats.
I didn't know you played
then,
drums. So you started on
I
drums?
can, yeah. I mean, if I was going to be like, okay, let's jam at some bar or something. Yeah, I mean, I jam on bass too. And I mess around a little bit just to get enough, get around enough. But, I mean, I got some funk.
Yeah. So eventually you got like some records and you got a turntable?
Well, yeah, in school, drum class.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, I'd play drums in the assemblies and stuff like that. And then, eventually, my father got an opportunity to move to Los Angeles. This big Russian restaurant was opening up, and they wanted him to be the in-house resident entertainer. So they flew our whole family out to LA, moved us out there, and that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, but even back then, I had my first drum machine in probably first grade, a Lindrum LM2. And I still have it actually.
You do?
And yeah, and then I started. I was like, ooh, I like this, and then then I added a reel-to-reel 4-track, and back then little sample mixers had little samplers in them. I could do like 4 seconds of sampling. So I'd have to like lay a beat down, and then I'd have to trigger the sample for 4 minutes perfectly every time. And if you messed up, you had to like go back.
Yeah.
So I just got really good finding little 4-second loops with the Lindrum. And I remember like my first beat was like I sampled something like, come and get your baked potato, baked potato, baked potato, come. And I thought it was funny. It was just like some cool thing,
What'd
So-
your dad think, man, when you were doing this?
I was a bad
stuff?
kid.
Oh, yeah?
I gotta admit it. I was a terror. I mean, growing up in Hollywood, you can't. I was never hungry or anything. I was middle class. But like, if you want your buddy or somebody to pick you up, you need gas money. You need some weed money, and you got to have something for somebody to come pick you up. You know what I mean? So I was getting into trouble a lot, and and.
How did you hook up with these guys, man? House of Pain guys.
Well, House of Pain. I mean, before that, I was always one of my dad's friends in New York is this guy Dennis Bell. My dad was in a band with him, and Dennis Bell went on to produce Dougie Fresh, the show, and the Lottie Dottie. So, like, my first hip hop concert was Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew with Barry B and Chew Will, 2 DJs. I remember being backstage, and at Disneyland, that one stage was underground. So when you're like backstage, you're below ground, and there's the stage, and here's Dougie Fresh, and I'm like this little kid, and I'm like, like beatboxing in Dougie Fresh's face, and he's like, yeah, okay, cool, kid, get out of here. And then I see Barry being chill well, and one's like, and then the other one's scratching some banjo, ding, 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 ding. And I was just like, whoa, seeing that for the first time, and I was just like, and then the stage rose out of the ground.
How old were you when this happened?
This had to be second, third grade-ish,
So
like
you're
second or
super
third.
young.
Yeah, super young. And like I was always the kid that had a boombox around because my dad always had records around.
Yeah.
But I would take the records and not put them back in the sleeves, and and I was a bad kid. So, but eventually, I was doing pretty good, and I met like MC Young.
Oh, yeah.
And I went into I remember meeting this rapper, this white rapper. I think his name was Storch. Somehow I met him just hanging out. We used to hang out on Hollywood Boulevard and just mess around and beatbox. And this dude rapped, and I was like, oh, cool. So I met MC Young, Young MC.
He was huge.
And I was like,
What was
wow.
that big song he had? It was like, didn't he have a big song on the radio? I can't remember the name of it.
And then the fellas, if you want it, you got it.
Yeah. That was huge.
They'll bust the moves.
Bust the moves.
Yeah, that era. And I was like, wow, I'm going to meet. And somehow I got that dude. And I went to Fairfax High School, and down the street
Dude, everybody went to Fairfax.
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
Chili Pepper guys, all those guys.
Yeah, I went to Bancroft Junior High School, where it's like Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5, Funk Dubious, Son Doobie from Funk Dubious. There was just a little crew, just cool, because it was cool times, cool people, and graffiti was just breaking out. Break dancing was breaking out.
Yeah.
That whole just thing was just brand new. So, we used to go just ditch school and go steal and paint, and then go paint, and just fun shit. Stuff kids don't really get to do these days, I guess, because it was so new.
Yeah.
Fairfax High. I mean, I kind of lost my train of thought.
No. You're talking about Fairfax. You're talking about what influenced you. But when did you get when you got to high school? That was Fairfax. Did you know these guys in the band? Was this after high school?
No. So I knew I met a couple guys, and they knew this girl, and they introduced me to her. Her name was Terry B.
Oh, Terry B.
Yeah. And Terry B.
Look, I think she's on the screen right here.
Yeah, there it is. That's the first video I was ever in. I was probably 17.
Did you guys film all over and over again? Was this a long process?
This was just a few shots. I mean, I don't remember. I was 16. But you got some really cool people in this video.
Yeah.
I mean, there's QD3, Quincy Jones' son.
Ah,
He was the
cool.
producer.
Yeah.
There's Schoolie D, MC Schoolie D. Looking at my Gucci is about that time.
Yeah,
You know, the Easy E signed her. So my first taste of like,
Easy. That's so cool.
like I'm hanging out with E. I got a picture of like hanging out with Easy, and I was
That's
like,
amazing.
wow. So that's the first video I was in. And then I don't know, like we kind of made some music a little bit, and then one day out of the blue, she calls me up. She's like, hey, my new boyfriend is this guy Everlast, and he's in Rhyme Syndicate with Ice-T, signed to Rhyme Syndicate, and he's going on tour to Europe, and he wants to hear you beatbox and DJ. And I'm like, sure. You know what I mean? So I lived on Sunset in La Cienega, and there's a little store. It's basically right where Marilyn Monroe, died.
Yeah.
There's a place called Pink Dot, and it's just like the liquor store you order from, and then if you live in the Hollywood Hills, you order from that place, and you know. So I remember I threw on my dad's suit, threw on a little tie, and I had some good weed, and I'm meeting Everlast at the fucking Pink Dot. So I walk up there, and then there he is. You know, hey man, what's up, dude? You want to blaze one? Oh, sure, man. We plays the dude.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't remember. And he was like, yeah, let me hear you beatbox. You know, I beatboxed, whatever. And he was just like, we just hit it off. And then literally, I left the middle of 11th grade and went on tour with Ice-T and the Rhyme Syndicate to Europe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy, dude. I feel like there should be like a movie. I always say this, but like that.
Well, I
that
mean, if
looks
you
like
think
a
about it,
classic.
coming from Riga, Latvia,
Yeah.
and my dad wants to be a rock star in America, and he actually did. He was in a band called Moby Grape. Later on, they had a reunion kind of.
Can you find it on YouTube or anything? Is there any kind of videos?
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
I like to see that.
Yeah, Grisha Dimant, GRISHADIMANT. That's my dad. I made him a SoundCloud page. He passed away in 2007.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but you know, he was there to stand behind me when we played. You know, like the Coliseum opening up for Metallica.
Oh,
You know, and he was the one that was like, maybe you should run your turntable through a talk box, and maybe you should run your stuff through my guitar amp. And he gave me that. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna play like shred, but
Yeah.
I could use that sound because when I was like starting with Limp Bizkit, I'm like, man, I don't really just want to be a dude that goes like fresh, like for no reason in a song. I was like, and there was kids like A-Track who were like 13 winning competitions and everything. I was like, well, I got to do something different, you know? I was like, I got to make my own style because these kids are already like video games. You know how they play, you know, now they're like, some 10-year-old will make you go crazy and start cussing out on my PS4. They're like, you know, like a 10-year-old came over the other day. I'm like, I have a PS4 laying around. He's just, I'm just like, what's the fun of this?
Yeah.
But he's killing it. So, oh man. So yeah, the technology I just had to go a different route. I was like, I'm gonna be more musical. I'm gonna run my shit through a fucking Marshall stack, and I'm gonna use wah-wahs and talk boxes and then
And you guys formed a band and like this massive song, Jump Around, man.
Well, the guitar DJ shit kind of came after this.
Okay.
This was the first beats I ever made in my life. Made it on this record.
Oh, did it?
Like the first 8 I ever made. Like Salutations, Top of the Morning, House of the Rising Sun, Shamrocks and Shenanigans, House of Pain Anthem,
How'd you hook up
One
with...
for the Road, All My Love. Those were the first beats I ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you get the Cypress Hills guys on here? Because they're on a couple of tracks, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, we were signed to DJ Muggs' production company. House of Pain was. It was called Soul Assassins.
You guys
And it was
tour-
a crew.
on
It was
tour and
Funk Dubious, Cypress Hill, and House of Pain, and even the Hooligans. When the Hooligans were, me and B Real signed them, and that was Alan Mamon, who's the Alchemist. He DJs for Eminem now. He's a big producer, and his little rapping partner, I'm gonna say, Scotty Kahn, James Kahn's son.
Yeah.
And we had a little something hit, but back then it was like crisscross and little white dudes rapping. It was just they weren't having that shit, but they was having this, cause you had your Beastie Boys, you had Third Bass.
Yeah, I remember Third Bass. I forgot about that.
I just remember being in school and like, hey, Beastie Boy. Mm-hmm. People get made fun of. That's how you get made fun of. Oh, you Beastie Boy, wanna be. So I think this record
That's interesting, man.
kind of gave a lot of white boys who liked hip hop. They could bump this and be proud. Because we weren't trying to be.
You guys were different. You had the Irish thing, man. It was different angle.
It was just the time and everything.
How'd you pick that single out, man? That single was massive.
It was just kind of just undeniable.
So you guys knew when you were putting it together, you're like, this has got to be.
I remember going to Muggs' house, and me and Eric were just. Then I think that's the first thing he played, and I was like, oh, that's fucking dope. And then we just went in the studio, and that song kind of got influenced. There used to be an artist called Jamalski, and he had a song called Jump, Spread Out. Jump, spread out, do it. Don't sit out, then a jump, spread out, do it. And then the other story is, at the end of Jump Around, Everlast goes, this is dedicated to Joe the Butcher Nicolo. Get off the Bozak, punk. Because Muggs, Muggs shopped House of Pain to Rough House Columbia, which is the label that Cypress Hill was on. And they offered us some bullshit deal. So we were like, later for yous. But what he did was get Crisscross together and did Jump.
No way.
And put that out before Jump Around.
Oh, God.
Or just at the same time. Just around the same time.
Wow.
So that's why actually they must have came out with it before us, because we had enough time to go, this is dedicated to Joe the Biter. Instead of the Butcher, he calls him the Biter. Joe the Biter Nicolo, get off the Bozak, punk.
That is amazing.
Looking at it back now, they're both great, club songs, but
that is amazing.
This one just goes. It's the Louie of our generation. They still play it. I'm still around from it.
It's a great story. When Crisscross and you guys came out, I was 12, 11 or 12. So it was. I love both that. That's a great. Glad you shared that.
Yeah.
So then you guys went on tour for a while. Then you came back with Same as Ever. Same as it ever was. Yeah.
Same as it ever was. Yeah. This is probably one of my favorite House of Pain records. I just feel like it's like the first one. Yeah, it had Jump Around and stuff, but it was more. They have both places, because there was such. It was like my first beats ever. I feel like I could have did a little better on the production, but I kind of was just finding my way. But it just, the people who went for Flint influenced me, like Muggs and Public Enemy and stuff like that. I feel I just, kind of found my own little niche in that.
Yeah.
And then this one is just undeniable too. Every single song is a banger. Not that it might not be a smash hit, but
was the record company trying to get another jump around?
Of course.
Yeah.
But you can't try to follow that, man.
That's actually pretty good skills right there.
Oh, this is the old school book trick. I can't even believe I could still do it.
Damn.
You should just do that the entire time.
This is what Lethal did in high school.
That's good.
I learned how to spin.
Oh.
Actually, I first learned how to scratch in Toronto when I was probably, I don't know, You know, when it was all about wrestling
Yeah.
and baseball. I used to carry a BMX bike, wrestling, baseball. I had to be first, second grade. I used to go to Toronto all the time, and there you could buy lottery tickets and scratch. So that's where I learned how to scratch. I was like 10 or no, I was like 7, like scratching lottery tickets. That's where I learned how to scratch.
Yeah, gambling. That's good.
Yeah, so that's that one.
There you go. Boom. Look at this third one right here.
Yeah.
Did you guys like break up right around the time this came out, or was this after?
Yeah, actually, the release party was the last. We broke up at the release party.
See, no tour. It was just done.
Yeah.
You guys were tired of you needed a break.
You know, a few things happened. There's a different couple stories. I just got stuck in the middle of them.
Do you like this album?
Personally, this is my favorite just because I made the whole thing. There's not one track by anybody else on here. And when I made it, I was like, well, here's my chance to not just try to follow and make a bunch of jump arounds. I was like, this is my chance to like prove. I want other producers to hear this album and go, wow, those beats are really dope. Like, so I didn't even care about hits. I mean, you know, looking back, to me, they're hits. I mean, you know, this is an amazing record because it has Guru on it. The Fed Up remix featuring Guru. Guru passed away. That was our homie. And he's a legend. You know, and Sadat X from the Brand Nubians. I mean, go listen to this one. This one is a little bit underrated, I feel.
Music's changing, right? This came out, what, in 96?
This was 96.
So, I mean, you had like...
So that kind of transitions into the Bizkit thing because we did one last tour of Florida, and this little weird band called Limp Bizkit opened up for
every album do it. It's kind of
yeah. Limp Bizkit opened up for House of Pain. You know, I remember they were just really cool, like, you know, trailer park dudes. You know what I mean? They were just straight Jacksonville rednecks. I'm talking about Milwaukee's best beer, and you know, like 10 dogs in the yard, full on just garage turning the just.
Was Wes in the band? Because he was kind of on and off back in the early
There's
days.
even like it gets deeper. I mean, are we still talking about any? Oh yeah, so we're moving on. We're going like a timeline kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, $3 bill, y'all. Wow, I don't even think I have one of these Thunder Vinyl joints. Yeah, so basically what happened was after Limp Bizkit opened up for House of Pain, and like John Otto and Fred knew the word to every song on Same As It Ever Was.
Oh,
that was their shit.
That was
like this song, I'ma Swing It, off of this album. And that was like one of my favorite beats, but they just doom, 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 doom. They love the bass line, the groove. They were just like, that was their joint. So I was like, yo, man. Okay, so we're upstairs, House of Pain, in our dressing room, and there's like I remember you could see, there's like a little window where you could look down and see the stage. So they come out, and I'm like, is that Straight Up by Paula Abdul? And Everlast looks at me, he's like,
God,
what is this?
They covered that.
Everlast looks at me, he's like, what is this shit? And he's like, we look out, and Wes is wearing a halter top, a light baby blue halter top, pigtails, and a mini skirt. And Everlast is like, yo, what is this, bro? And I'm like, damn, but this shit sounds kind of dope. I'm like, what? I can kind of get with this because it's funky, but like they're funny, but like the riffs are heavy. I'm like, yo, because I had produced Sugar Ray's first record.
Was that Lemonade or something?
Lemonade and Brownies. I did that when I was like 21.
Wow.
Yeah, I produced that record.
That's cool.
So that was like kind of my first record where I added scratches and
they're a little
distorted
heavier, a little
scratches and actually like there's a
like
song.
Mean Machine and stuff like that, right?
There's a song. The first. It's funny you mentioned Jay Gordon. Shout out. What up, Orgy?
Jay's gonna be
Jay
here.
Gordon. He we did a remix to a song called Legend by House of Pain, and we did a rock version. And there's a big studio in LA called NRG, where Linkin Park did their records at. We did records there. I mean, every rock band, Papa Roach, Jane Baumgartner, the owner of NRG, produced Papa Roach's first record. It's just a famous rock studio.
That's cool.
And me and Jay did the first kind of session in there, and we did a metal mix of Legend for House of Pain that sounds like Korn. And we did the Judgment Night soundtrack, and we did the House of Pain and Helmet thing, and that was like the first time.
Love Judgment Night.
That's
soundtrack.
like the first time 808s and fucking metal kind of came together.
Absolutely.
I
have that record.
Yeah, of course, Aerosmith
God.
and Run DMC, yeah. But I'm talking about like metal, not just
Judgment Night soundtrack is so underrated.
Yo,
bro.
so underrated. But I
Onyx
and the car.
Helmet.
I did that. And
I love all those mashups. It's the greatest
I
album
even
ever.
did the scratches on the Pearl Jam Cypress Hill one.
Yes.
Yeah, so it all kind of just was just like, whoa.
I'm glad you brought up Judgment Night because I meant to have it and I forgot. But I love Judgment Night soundtrack.
Yeah, and then even before this, like Rage Against the Machine, the first tour they ever did was opening for House of Pain. Korn, the first tour they ever did was opening for House of Pain. Korn, it was House of Pain, Biohazard, and Korn opening up.
That's amazing.
So like I got to see that whole meeting of hip hop and metal kids moshing, and it was just all the same people. And
it's weird because
I
House
got
of
to
Pain
see
was
it.
never metal, but you guys attracted all these metal artists that kind of
Because
wanted
it was
to
the
tour with
same dude. It was the same dude who liked fucking Rage and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and also like Beasties and Public Enemy and Run DMC. It was the same dude, really. But now they could all like get down together and then, moshing started and jumping and, So then it came time to do this, and basically I was like, hey guys, after the tour we did in Florida, I had a house in Laurel Canyon, and I already did Sugar Ray, part of Sugar Ray's record up there, and I was like, come you guys to LA, and like I'll produce your demos. Let's do some demos, to sit crib up Laurel Canyon. And they're like, yeah, dude, that's cool, man. Lethal's gonna do our demos.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, dude,
This
cool,
is before
let's do it.
Korn found them, right? This is.
You see, there's a whole like misconception thing, and everybody has their own little like thing on
Like
who
the Milk
did
Bar,
what.
you guys played.
Yeah, that was a Milk Bar thing, but I mean, I guess the first tour Bizkit did was, I think, opening for Korn, or somehow Fred used to tattoo. And this is before he could really tattoo. Somehow he got, I think it's Fieldy. He convinced Fieldy to get a tattoo.
It's head.
Head.
Yeah.
And instead of,
It looks
so
like
they
horn.
got him drunk and they're partying, and it says horn instead of corn.
Because the K doesn't, it's not a,
But Fred, he used to pretend to be the band's manager. So he would take calls and pretend to be the band's manager and like book gigs, and like he was hustling like
Every band
that.
needs that. They need the manager. Like Metallica has Lars. He's the manager.
Right.
Everybody needs that manager in the band, I guess.
Yeah, there's the guy, like, I don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Either.
I don't want to deal with that shit. I just want to, like, that's why I always wore baseball hats and kind of was in the background. You see, like, I like being hidden. Like, I'd feel bad for Fred when it was huge and he couldn't walk through a mall. Like, that, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I just want to be down low, and like, who knows. But like, some dudes have to get, they want to get noticed. They put on a fucking purple mohawk, and then you gotta wear that purple mohawk for the rest of your life to get noticed and recognized. I'm like, I don't want that part of it. Like, I'm cool. If people appreciate my art, great. But I was never like, oh, I want to rap and be in the front. You know what I mean? I was like, when I started, doing this whole music thing, I looked around and I saw some of my friends that were DJs that were like, 40, 35, and to me, that was already you're old. And I was like, and they were DJing little bars and clubs, and I was like, man, I don't want to be doing that. I was like, I probably got to start making music that these motherfuckers are playing. Is it cussing okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I just start going off. I can turn it off, but
I love it. Keep going.
But
when did you when you guys did the Faith song, you guys pushed that?
Well, basically,
the whole
what happened
raw.
is this. Check it out. There's a whole thing. So they're like, okay, great. We're coming down. We're renting a van. We're putting all the gear in the trailer, and we're gonna meet you in LA at your house. And I'm like, great. This is dope. And they had signed some weird little deal. That it was called like, I don't want to like call anybody out, but it's the same label who had like Guns N' Roses for a minute. It was more of a management, but they had they just got a label deal.
What, with Geffen or something?
It was like Big FD or something.
Okay.
Like some just new kind of thing, but they had Guns N' Roses and the managers, and they started. Anyway, so like 4 days goes by. I don't hear nothing. I'm like, where are these dudes? They got to be like at least halfway, check in, what's up? So I call like 5 days later. I call like Florida. I'm like, where are these dudes? They're like, dude, you didn't hear? One of the drivers fell asleep on the freeway and rolled the van, and everybody's in the hospital. I'm like, dang. Literally, the driver fell asleep. They rolled the van with the trailer about 20 times. But luckily, all survived.
Nobody passed.
No. So like 7 days later, 8 days later, they show up to my house all bandaged, limping around. And they're like, oh, by the way, these two guys are our new guitar players. Terry and, I forgot the other dude's name, shit. It was Terry, and it ended up being Terry Balsamo from Evanescence.
Oh, wow.
And I forgot, bad with names, I forgot the other kid. And I was like, okay. And I was like, damn, what's this kind of, why this is really dope. And besides John's drumming and Sam's bass playing and, Fred, I was like, that's pretty big.
But the whole
and I was like,
underrated.
Yeah, so I guess, I don't want to like blow up anybody's spot. Well, I don't know. I think something I heard about somebody stopped taking medication and went kind of bonkers. I don't know who, but I don't know. Something happened. I'm not exactly. I might be embellishing. I don't know. But so they were like so they showed up with 2 new guitar players, and I'm like, dang. I'm like, all right, well, let's try to make this work. So I kept hitting up the label. I needed some more gear and stuff. The label wasn't calling me back or nothing. And there was always a dude named Jordan Schur. And Jordan Schur had Flip Records, and he also was like the president of Geffen, and now he has he does movies, Sure Tone Records he had. And he does big movies. He did A Fighter and Keanu Reeves movie. Yeah. Anyways, he was always like a silent kind of investor guy, and he was, he had money, and he always believed in the band. I was like, dude, you guys are screwed, man. You signed a shitty deal. I was like, dude, you guys got to get Jordan up here like tomorrow and get him to buy you out of this shitty thing. I can't even get them to send me a budget to rent like microphones. I'm like, this is bullshit. So like that same night, Jordan Schur came up there, and they worked it out, and Jordan Schur bought the band back, and I think he got it back for like $50,000. And then it was like, okay, well, then we went to New York and we did some demos. And that's the 4-track or 5-track cassette demo. That was the original demo. We did that in New York. I think I got like $5 or $10 grand to do it, and I blew it all at the strip club down the street from the hotel. I swear. Every night, we were just, I was up there like, woo, 96, 7, 97 and a half.
Yeah.
Ish. 96, early 97, late 96. 10 grand. Yeah, 10 grand. It was strip club. Like, woo.
It's gonna be a good night.
I think I came home like owing money, but whatever. I was like, this is cool.
This is for the demo, right?
Yeah.
Is there copies of this? I'd love to have a
yeah,
copy
there's
of the demo.
I've just met some kid. We did a show in like out on the outskirts of Philly, and this kid brought the demo of it. And I'm pretty sure like somebody has a few. I might have one laying around somewhere, but it has this song called Red on it that it was like one of my favorite songs. And it never came out. They never really finished it.
Why not?
I don't know, but we were trying to work on it. Like we were trying to resurrect it. But yeah, it was sick. Like soul. I was like, man, with this song, and the demo was like Stuck, Counterfeit, Pollution, and maybe Red. I don't know if Red's on the demo or not. I can't remember. But so what happened was George Scher ended up signing him to Flip Records. And then they got, the whole Fieldy finding the band thing, I'm pretty sure that did happen on that tour.
Yeah. Fieldy passed the demo to Ross, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know concretely, but another integral part of that was when they came to my house, they were signed to a different... They weren't signed, like, Fieldy didn't, like, get them signed to Flip Records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were on some other label. I don't want to say...
I didn't know that, though. I didn't know
Yeah,
that
they were
on
on some other label. And I was like, dude, I can't even get these people to send me, like, $200 rental fee for microphones.
Mm-hmm. Just a bad deal.
I was like, dude, Jordan got money. He'd been paying for everything. He would go to all the shows. He would rent them tour buses. Like, he was the Limp Bizkit spearhead champion guy with the money. Mm-hmm. That, like, made it possible for them to start going and doing opening gigs. I wouldn't be surprised if he paid people off to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, y'all got to call Jordan and, like, tomorrow and, like, get him up here. And then... Yeah, we went to Indigo Ranch to do the record, and they're like, and at that point, I was just kind of hanging out and just doing some cuts, and finally they were just like, fuck it, why don't you just join the band?
Oh, okay.
I mean, I remember, excuse me, they had one show in like San Diego, and they were like, Lee, why don't you come, like, jam out with us? Just do whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I want to go. So I brought this little Marshall, like, amp.
Yeah.
And a little wah-wah pedal. And turned my shit in there. It just made noise. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, this is pretty cool.
Well, what did Ross say? Was he all for it?
Well, I mean...
New sound?
No, I've known Ross... even longer because I have a connection with Indigo Ranch Studio where all those records got made.
Place burned down, right?
Yes.
It's crazy.
Well, I was there. My father's best friend, who's my godfather, was still alive. We put together Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, wow.
His name is Matthew Cates. He's my godfather. And he was just randomly at some Russian restaurant. He heard Marty Ballin song come on, and Marty Ballin was in fucking all those bands. But anyways, at the time Matthew was making a Moby Grape they got together in '89 and made a record.
Yeah.
Like after 30 years, they came out in the '60s. I think the lead singer took acid or the lead guitar player took acid and never came off.
Mm-hmm.
So all the reviews for the 89 Moby Grape album were like, wow, the guitar player really smoking out. Like, what happened? But I was at Indigo Ranch when I was like 11, and I was beatboxing on Little Eva remix of Locomotion by Little Eva with Little Eva.
That was recorded there.
Yeah, and so they did a remix, and the one that came out in 80, whatever, 88 something, maybe 87, I want to say. I beatboxed on there.
Really?
So I used to go there with my dad all the time.
How long has this place been there? Like, they need to make a documentary about
Well,
the
Richard
studio.
Kaplan has a YouTube channel, and he talks about a lot of stuff. You might want to check it out. It's called Studio Rat HQ, and he talks about all the gear that used to be at Indigo Ranch, and
I had to put the
he
links
talks
up on
about the secret sauce and what gear was there. It's pretty cool, man.
That sounds cool.
And he even talked about, he goes into the Deftones and the Korn
Love Deftones.
and the Limp and the sounds, and he says he made me some special box, this black box. And I'm like, what black? I don't remember using some black box. But then I look on my shelf at home and like,
There's a black
there's
box.
a weird black box. I don't know what it does. But he started talking about all this stuff that I don't even remember about, like running the turntable, being grounded right, and more power. I don't know, just some super tech shit. I was
I'll
like,
just check that out.
I was like, dude, I don't remember that, bro. Like, I don't remember that. But,
All right, so we gotta move on
All
here,
right.
man.
Boom.
You just throw it. Yeah, boom. I like this new.
But yeah,
thing.
I'm trying to keep the corners.
Hey, nice job on the corners. This album, huge.
Yeah, well, it all started with Faith off of fucking $3 bill.
Thank goodness you put Faith on there.
We fucking we were on the road, and we flew out to do MTV Spring Break. After the show, we take a jet, we go to MTV Spring Break, and we did Faith, and after that, it was just...
Yeah.
That did it. We literally flew out after a show, took a jet to Jamaica, Spring Break, flew back home, Spring Break aired, and it was over. It was just fucking boom.
That's like MTV Prime. Like, they're just airing that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
What's that like, man? Your whole world's kind of...
I already got a taste with it of House of Pain, and I learned just to be fucking cool and be yourself. Don't put on a gimmick so you can just be you.
Yeah.
And don't be a dick. That's it. And you'll be fine. You start fucking being an asshole and treating people like they're lower than you, you're gonna nobody wants to hear that. Like we just did a show, and I think it was like the Lumineers, right? And it was K-Rock Weenie Roast. And I'm setting my gear up. Like I didn't have a tech. We did a 5-minute thing. And I'm walking on stage, and I turn around and I walk back, and I see the band, and they're like, I don't know who he was, just a shithead, like probably band caretaker was like, hey mate, hey, you almost bumped into the band, and I was like, what, motherfucker?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I'll beat your fucking ass right now, and fuck your band. I'm in that bond. I was like, fucking James Bond. Bond? James Bond. But just like, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Be cool. Be yourself. Don't put on a fucking shtick, because you'll always have to be stuck with that shtick. Mm-hmm. And you'll be good. And I'm just me, Sorry, I'm talented, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Fuck. You know what I mean? Either you got it or you don't, or fake it till you make it. I don't know.
It's interesting that you kind of got further with the House of Pain, so you already kind of been there and you kind of got a taste of success.
Well, dude, the high from being so high and doing, that to nothing is a motherfucker. Worse than any drug. It's like slamming the best shit ever, and then all of a sudden you're out. No, they don't make it no more. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, fucking lightning strikes twice. God damn. Some dude from Latvia that escaped from fucking the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Because his dad wanted to be a rock star. Not just does House of Pain, but ends up in Limp Bizkit too.
Yeah.
You know.
So who does the
Some guys have all the luck.
Some guys.
Hey, if I could plan it and I knew I was going to be successful, I wouldn't be in a band. I'd be like fucking Back to the Future. I'd be betting on the fucking games.
Yeah,
I could
man.
read the
Get you a little book that tells you everything. Yeah,
I wish I had
the
it.
almanac.
I wish I had it. I know. It's just me.
Well, this album's great, and you got your the whole album, start to finish. I love it. It's really you got what you had Terry Date on here, right?
I think that's Terry
Yeah,
Date.
Terry
That's where we
Date,
started.
Soundgarden. Terry Date's the man.
He is, yeah, absolutely. Terry was an integral
Deftones,
part of getting the
Pantera.
sound. I had to coach him a little bit on the fatness part.
Really?
You know? Well, listen to a Pantera record, and if you were the bass player, you were pissed.
True.
He's like, "Where's the bass?"
Not as pissed.
And I was like, I need like bass, you know. So I was like, Terry, here's a couple little secret things. That needs to be a little fatter. We need, make that shit cracking.
Dude, you needed that on Metallica on the Injustice for All. No bass on that album. You couldn't have mixed on that album.
Yeah, listen to our early Pantera. I dare to
I'll have to.
hear a bass
Vulgar
on it.
Display of Power. Maybe?
But that was the sound, though. That became the sound. Who knows if it had bass and if it sounded as good? It was just more.
Did you guys want to use Ross at all for this? Was Ross on here? Ross Robinson?
I'm not sure. Another cool thing about this
Yep.
is when you look at this graffiti, it's actually about 20 feet tall and about 20 feet wide. And you can tell because you can see an outlet right there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a power outlet in the corner. So you can see how gigantic that piece actually is.
I never noticed the outlet.
That was done by my homeboy Mir from, he was in a graffiti crew called CBS, which is like, I kind of grew up with these kids and it was a little graffiti crew. And there was a DJ named DJ Rob One. Rest in peace. I used to go over his house and you walk in his living room and it's just all crates of records and then just like a desk with a four-track cassette, and he was the one making mixtapes and scratching. But yeah, Terry Date, super dope engineer, producer.
Did you guys work hard? Like, how long did it take to do this album? I mean, these songs were huge, and usually the second album, sophomore album, are not as big as the first album.
I don't know where it started. I feel like it started with break stuff or something, and then one day Fred was like, he was like, "Yo, I got to go do some shit. Make the best shit you ever made in your life right now."
No pressure.
And we were like, all right. And then all of a sudden, dude, I fucking turn on my MPC and I start going through a loop, and like the third loop that pops up is a banging drum loop that's just like that the loop that's on the record.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Wes just went boom, 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 boom. We were like, oh shit, man. And then John sat down at the drums, Sam came in, and it was like
Yeah.
And that's that formula and that DNA and just whatever the musical gods just said, here
you go.
you know. Yeah, good times.
You guys toured forever on that. I mean, this album exploded. I mean,
We're still touring
massive.
on these songs. I mean, it's at the point where it's like,
Anniversary's got to be coming up, right? You gonna do it from start to finish? That'd be cool.
you know, some of these sounds I don't like. I don't even have the sounds of some of these songs, and especially like all those Universal Interscope tapes burn mysteriously.
Oh, were you guys part of that?
So like, I remember like somewhere I have DATs and shit. I gotta like, if we're gonna do a record front to back, I'd have to get it somehow, find like the masters. There's some, like I know there's one record I had that I used for like the first record that's just like it broke in half, and I don't even, the whole record is broken in half, so it's like
Were
shit.
you
But I
spinning
mean,
it on your finger?
but
And
I
it broke in
used to
half?
put everything on DAT tapes, which is like a little bit better than a cassette tape. It was a digital audio tape, and after everything was mixed, I would have them make me stems of just my sounds and the guitars, so I could scratch the guitars I wanted.
Wow.
But then I had the mixed record version
Yeah.
of my sounds, But there's a
That's
few.
interesting.
There's a few that like, especially first album. All this shit I have.
What a great album. I love
All
that
the
song.
stuff off here I have. All the stuff off Chocolate Starfish.
No corners.
No
That was
corn.
good.
Hey, I'm a record guy, dude.
Yeah.
I got 30,000 in storage. I got about 20,000 in my studio.
Do you?
All 60s, 70s, funk, soul, jazz, prog rock.
Do you like that
shit.
vinyl's coming back? I mean, it's been back.
I love it. I got records. I just picked like a handful now and just like say I'll just start cleaning, whatever, warming up. Before I just used to skip right through them, trying to find like the dope break beat or drums or sounds. If you're like in a room, you'd be like, "What are you doing?" Like, oh shit! And that, but
Limp Bizkit albums are hard to find on vinyl. Are you guys gonna release like
I
your
don't
old back
know.
catalog? Is that
I'm not in that department.
Yeah.
That's not my department.
We
My
got this guy.
department is just rocking. I mean, what can I say? 1.2 million records first week.
You guys are massive. This was huge.
We went the next day and renegotiated our deal.
Did you?
Yeah. We got a chunk.
What's life like having this kind of record out? I mean, is private jets, buses? I mean,
A little bit of both. It's definitely good times. You get a check for anything over $1 million.
Yes.
Like a lump sum.
you guys were like
fucking-
the last band to make a ton of money, right? I mean,
Well, it's different money now.
Yeah.
There's rappers getting signed for 20 million. You know what I mean?
because rap is the.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
but it's a different, if you sold 1.2 million physical copies today,
Yeah.
you sell 50,000 and you're number one on iTunes.
How do you stay grounded when you're this big? I mean, were you guys getting along, or was this just? This is last.
Well, we
West,
would do our thing on the road, and then we'd go and we'd have our girls and we'd have our own lives, and we'd, house shopping, living life, chilling. But,
Yeah.
when you get home from tour, you want to be away. I didn't want to be in Hollywood. I was like, give me a fucking couch, give me some good ass kush,
Yeah.
and let me just.
Chill.
Yeah, because going on the road, dude, this will be my 31st year on the road, and I'm 47.
It's your whole life.
So, actually, like,
The record company must have loved you guys during this, man.
well,
They
like
made
I
it show.
said, they went the next week, the first week, renegotiated the deal. And we got a nice trunk.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I love it, man. What do you got, like, rolling? And these songs are just huge, man. My Way. I remember seeing you guys do you're at the Playboy Mansion party. And
I just feel like I'm about to do a show right now. I'm like, it looks like a set list to me. I'm like, fuck. Start getting that show anxiety.
yeah, oh yeah, it does look like it's that low, man. But anyway, yeah, the great record. Do you like it?
I
do.
do.
You like it?
I do. Do I listen? I do. Do I listen to it like? No.
Do you listen to any of your albums?
Not really, because I got to hear it so much live.
Yeah.
But I do, just to remind myself, But we changed. Like we rehearse minimally, and we're just been a band so long. It's like some James Brown fucking dolphin shit, telekinetic. We just watch Fred, and he just like does a certain move, and we know, or there's a key word, and it's like boom, and we don't use Pro Tools. We don't. Everything I trigger is live. I'm right there with the drummer. No click tracks. No, it's like
Running tracks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just at this point we
That's-
just know, you
that's
know.
actually huge what
And
you're
like
saying.
some bands,
A lot of
used to
bands-
just play the Pro Tools,
Absolutely.
and they're stuck to that.
Yeah.
Fred sometimes goes into the crowd, walks the whole damn thing for 10 minutes, fucking around, and we gotta keep it going. Like, oh shit, here it comes! Boom, one key word, and it's like, you gotta be on it, man. You gotta be fucking focused. And sometimes I'm just up there like, I'm thinking about, oh, what am I gonna fucking eat later? And, oh shit, I'm in the middle of the song.
Dude, everybody does that, right?
You know, dude, it's. But with Bizkit, you gotta be on top of your shit because it kicks in like, oh, one word, oh shit, damn it, I missed it, and then I get mad, and then.
I forgot to ask you though, on your last record, you guys did Woodstock '99 and the riots and everything. What was that like?
Man, we got blamed for rocking too hard. Let me tell you, the shit jumped off the next day. Red Hot Chili Peppers gave out lighters to the crowd.
How come they don't talk about that then?
Because we were the scapegoat. We were the easy, blame it on them.
I
Dude,
never
we
knew that.
rocked that shit. You know, you put 500,000 people in a place, you charge $10 for water. One of everything is going to happen just by the numbers. Somebody's going to have a cut. Somebody's going to, shit their pants. Somebody's going to, throw up on their friend's face. Like 500,000, just the numbers alone. Something of something is going to happen.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that we got blamed for rocking too hard. So fuck off. I had an amazing fucking time. That's all I can say. It was amazing.
Yeah, I've heard Korn mention that. It was like the biggest show they've ever played.
Like probably nobody knows this, but like we used to have a homie that he was a rock doc.
Okay.
And I don't really want to mention names because I don't know, but this guy would bring nitrous tanks, like dental nitrous tanks with him to shows. And I just remember at Woodstock, we had one room just with 2 tanks. And I remember Dennis Rodman was in there.
Was he?
Carmen Electra was in there. Fuck everybody.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, this whole record, I mean, I'm going to probably get my ass chewed out for this. This record was made on about 2,000 canisters of nitrous.
No way.
At one point, the whole live room, you couldn't walk through the room without going like, oh, fucking shit. Like, falling. Yeah, it was probably, I think there was a $15,000 charge for whippet cans. One of our assistants finally got a tank, and he found a place to fill it. Mm-hmm. And we give him the tank, give him some money to go fill it. And he disappears, and we're like, where is this motherfucker? It's been like 3 days. Where is this fool?
Yeah.
Somebody finally goes to check on his house, and he's laying in bed with the nitrous tank. We're like, dude, you fucking nut. He could have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you guys do that in 2020 though? Like on the night?
No, but it's funny because
everybody's young.
Well,
man.
everybody had their own canister. You know what I mean? At that point, and I don't know why. I mean, I don't remember. It was just the time people were doing that stuff, Mm-hmm. And I had some at home one time, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make some beats, and I'm gonna do a couple whippets to see what it sounds like different." And for some reason, I had this like weird Japanese record, and I did a whippet, and I thought that the Japanese had figured out a tone that we can't hear that made you like the chorus, and they snuck the tone into the chorus.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, they figured it out. yeah, it got pretty deep, but yeah, this whole record was like $15,000 worth of nitrous.
Yeah, I want to go back and listen to No Corners. Great. Hey, so did you guys do? You guys, this is kind of blurry, but the new old songs, was this right afterwards? I mean, did you guys do
yeah,
I mean, this record was massive. I don't know, like this was kind of like
Let's see what's on here.
odd thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because none of these songs are no results. Yeah,
Yeah.
no truth. Yeah, this. I mean,
He just
this
thought
was just
that's
like a
it.
remix album, pretty much. You know, like it was just another album to fill an album worth of content to keep the deal going. It's
Keep
like,
going.
okay, what do you need another album? Here's an album.
This album right here. How did you get Fred on the cover? And well, he was on the CD on the back, but you guys did a making of this album too, man. I remember seeing that on MTV.
Well,
Roach Coach podcast covered this entire album. I had to throw that. What do you think about that?
this is a weird time. I mean, this is like a really tough times because
Wes is gone, right?
Wes is gone, and we literally did a tour of every Guitar Center across the states. We would wake up in a Guitar Center parking lot searching for the guitar player that's going to be the new guitar player of Limp
it's
Bizkit.
before Mike Smith.
And we had to hear so much shitty noodling and fucking. It was pretty sad, dude. Actually, it was just like, fuck, man, this sucks, dude.
Were you close to Wes? Like, were you guys cool with each other?
We were all like, yeah, we were all cool with each other. I mean, we at one point there was 11 dudes on one bus. You gotta be, cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, me and John Otto were like super close. Sam, it was like at one point it was me, John, and Sam on a bus, and Fred and Wes on the bus. And I mean, but before that, like all the Warped Tour shit was just like 11 dudes on one bus. You know what I mean? So everybody was so young and happy and giddy just to be fucking rocking out that there was no time for not getting along.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like a thought. We were just like, dude, we're 20. We're on fucking tour. This is fucking great.
Massive.
Yeah, there was nothing to like.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but it was a rough one because Mike Smith, we were talking about earlier, who played in Snot, he was the one that somehow made it to be the guitar player. But when it got time to record in the studio, he's a great guitar player and he could play all the stuff live, but in the studio, I don't know, maybe he got some kind of block or something, maybe at that time, or he just wasn't coming up with the sauce. And I think he felt it. And one day he was like, after a tour, he was like, I got to go to Baltimore for the weekend. I'm buying this house in Baltimore. And then he never came back.
He didn't?
He just never, I've never talked to him since.
It's till this day, you never?
Till this day. The only thing I heard was that he got busted and arrested for selling studio guitars that were lended from PRS. He was selling them on eBay and he got arrested. Well, you got to learn the hard way, Mike Smith.
Elvis Bizkit was on there too, right?
That's not coming back and Lee saying, hey guys, thanks for the opportunity, but I got to go, Hey, dude, I wish everybody well. But yeah, okay. Moving on.
And so was that you're not on this record, right? This was your last.
No, I am on that record.
You are on this record.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to say you weren't on the record.
But this is my like least favorite one. I mean, the key is like that's my beat. I mean, this one I was trying to like. John Otto was kind of going through some shit, so Ross got like this kid Sammy to play drums and. It was a weird time,
Dean Del Rey did a documentary about this time. Do you remember that? Like, I've heard him talk about, like, did he film, like, the making of
everything was always filmed.
It was? But it's just not released, right?
Yeah, there's a little piece of it. It's called, like, Poop or something.
Yeah.
I've seen trailers of it, but who knows where they are now. I know that, like, Fred's house burned down in Malibu and burned down pretty much a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't even want to go there because that's pretty deep. He got out of there with his motorcycle in a backpack. Everything else.
I can't imagine.
Like, serious, cool rock art from like pictures from Jim Marshall. I mean, all his awards. I don't even know. I don't want to speak on it because that's his thing. I don't even want.
That's crazy. This album you guys have.
Yeah, this is just a weird time too.
It's weird. It's like a heavy album.
It's funny because there's always some kind of like after the first 3, there's always some kind of weird drama with somebody because we got comfortable, we got rich, just started partying a little too much, and it just started, whatever. You just thought it would never end, and you just, we're young kids, dude. John Otto was like 16 when I met him. Like,
was he?
And Sam was like 15.
So this is like their only band. This
is all they know, yeah. Like Sam and John were the youngest ones, and they're like 4 years younger than me. But when you're like 47 and 42, it's not that big a deal. But when you're like 21 and they're like 17, it's like, you know how that Harvey Weinstein thing goes.
Yes.
All right.
There you go. Do it. You gotta lick the finger once.
Yeah, because it gives you the. Well, you got to get the good.
I feel like this thing's gonna take my eye out.
Nah, bro, come on.
Oh, you got it. I'm sorry. You good?
On, you have to learn.
Still going.
So that's how I can tell you didn't go to school.
You do some skills on a basketball.
Nah, I mean I used to, but I used to have to fight all the Korean kids playing basketball. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was caroms. Remember caroms? Damn, I'm old.
I'm young, man. I'm
Sam and John. It was like the after school program version of pool. There's these little wood round things, and you played caroms. It was that, and then tetherball.
I know what those are. I've just never called it that.
And tetherball.
I know tetherball.
And then the fucking handball. I used to be like the slicey king.
Really?
I just had that rooster move, the rooster slice.
We're gonna do that right after this interview. This guy, right?
Yeah.
Great album. Man, this album like blew me. I was like, man, this is heavy. Good stuff.
Yeah.
You talk about it?
I like it, yeah. Gold Crow, we still
I love
we still rock stuff off of this.
This
is really cool. This album.
Gold Cobra, great video. Man. It looked like you guys were having fun.
I think I think it's a great album.
This was your last Limp Bizkit album, though, right?
This was the last one, and after this is like right after this came out, I think I left the band in 2012 for a few years, and
was this came out in 2012? When did this come out?
This is in 2011.
Oh, 11. Okay, so you left.
So I got a year in, and then I was just like. My father passed away, and I was still PTSDing off of that. And I think I just had so many years of touring, and I never got to just sit back for a minute. Mm-hmm. And then just not being in the band, I got depressed, and I just laid on the couch for 5 years, just bummed out. I didn't even want to look at the computer. And Limp Bizkit's playing. I was like, fuck. And then
for 5 years.
Pretty much. I came back 2018 because 2018, beginning of 2018, they hit me back up, and 2017 we did the 25th anniversary with House of Pain. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess
they called you back, and you just
and then actually. At that time, Sam wasn't there, so everybody's had been in and out of the band.
Sam had like back issues, right, or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, he had some like weird. I don't know. He had like a sciatica thing or something. Yeah, I'll get him on the show. He could probably tell you. Hook you up.
I would love it. Yeah, please do that.
He's a badass, man.
I would love to have him on the show.
So there's banging shit on here. Bring It Back. It was
Bring
like
It Back was
this is like trap before. This is like trap rock before trap rock was even a thing. You know, and then halftime.
Yeah.
That's 2011. I mean, they're still trapping out right now in 2020. And I was making fucking. halftime fucking bangers, you know.
Are you guys gonna like the next album? Are you gonna have kind of this style, or are you moving on?
The next album is just a mysterious. It's just gonna happen. I mean, we can't. We're kind of between a rock and a hard place. We're already headlining. I know people want to hear the shit, but like personally, we're already headlining festivals. We got the Power Hour. It's either fuck the legacy up or take it where much more can it go? But yeah, we want to make a new album. But it's got to be so friggin' amazing that it doesn't tarnish the legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard. I mean, we got some badass stuff, and I'm telling you, it's fucking badass. When I say it's badass, it's fucking sick.
What?
But it has to be, perfect.
What's
it
cool
might
about
come, it might never come. I don't
Really?
know. I mean, it's not up to me.
What's weird is that some bands, when they write new music, nobody cares about. When Limp Bizkit writes new songs, people are obsessed with it. It's kind of like a Chinese democracy, Guns N' Roses. Like, people cannot wait to hear
Well,
new
they're
Limp
gonna
Bizkit songs.
you can't please anybody. That's what I learned when Limp Bizkit with the hating. Remember haters and all that shit, like that sticker I gave you.
Yeah.
Like we were the fucking bullseye for hate. You know what I mean?
I love how you guys approach it though, because you're like, you always had that Limp Bizkit sucks and Limp Bizkit worse, but you poked fun at it.
Even like our last tour, it was like the unfollow Limp Bizkit.
You've always been that way though.
Well,
It's kind of genius, right?
That's
So
the fun. That's the
you
fun
laugh at
part.
yourself.
Yeah, you got to. You can't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody was.
You want the worst, you got the worst. Limp Bizkit.
It's self-explanatory, and I guess some people just don't get it. They just think we're serious about it, but we're really just kind of just being us.
You guys are having fun.
Just artsy, cool, weird. Everybody's got. John brings the jazz and the funk and the beats, and Wes got his own artsy, crazy, and guitar weird shit. Fred's got his fucking style and his whole swag, and fucking Sam's got the melodic fucking 90s fucking Stone Temple Pilots-y kind of fucking alternative vibe.
So cool, you had
And then
Scott
I got
Weiland
the
on your
hip hop
stuff.
shit with the beats and the scratches. It's just the DNA we made something special, you know what I mean? It's like that's why there's like missing pieces to some of these where it's like, oh, okay, I kind of like it, but it's missing something. But
Significant Other had Scott Weiland from STP, which we
yeah,
got to
man,
cover.
that's one of my favorite songs. I mean,
And Jonathan Davis on there too. But what was it like?
my ex fiance introduced him to his wife.
Oh wow!
And I actually used to work with Scott. He had this rap group called Underdogs.
Wait, Scott had a rap group?
Scott had signed this rap group called the Underdogs that I was producing.
Wow.
And he used to have a studio in NoHo. I used to go up there. And then later on, he just kind of started acting a little bit more mean. And then I don't know, I didn't never see him again. And then he just started like, I remember one time like I went with my buddy San Francisco to like a weird family values tour. It was like Lincoln Park, maybe Stone Temple. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. And I just remember like coming on the bus and he I don't know. He's either, I don't know. He was just a dick. I was
Really?
like, damn, you're a dick, dude. Like, what happened to you? No, but I was just like, fuck it, dude. What a dick. I'm never talking to that guy again. I walked off the bus and I was like,
That's interesting because he's on your record, man.
Yeah, but no, that song is fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
Hold
I love
on.
it.
I listen to that. That's a Limp song like I would bump in my car, but like you get chill bumps when you hear it and you're like, fuck, man, we really like besides the hip hoppy and rap rocky shit, I mean, we made some fucking dope songs.
Yeah, you did. I think, yeah, maybe that gets overlooked.
Yeah, but
sometimes.
you listen to it, you know. But
And so you
cool.
so check this out, man.
Yeah,
La Cuca, you pronounce it, man. This
La Coca Nostra.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is cool.
this is a record we made when we didn't want to make a record called House of Pain.
Yeah, okay.
So this is a House of Pain record without being called House of Pain.
Why didn't you want to be called House of Pain?
Because we didn't want to tarnish the legacy. Simple as that. Why? Just leave it alone.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Why come back for like 40 years later? Like, hey guys, we're back. Hey, we already got we're playing shows. We
Do
got
something
a hit.
new.
Like, yeah, cool. But it actually started without Eric, and it started with Danny. And Danny had this homie named Big Left and Slane. Now Slane now he's been in a few movies. He's kind of a big actor. He's in The Town. Have you seen that movie?
Oh, cool. And I haven't seen that movie. But
Okay, he's in The Town. I mean, now I'm on the plane and I watch a movie. I'm like, dude.
No way.
And it's funny because I didn't used to believe him. Like, he would be like, oh, dude. He used to stay at my house, right? He was just from Boston, just a Boston kid. Like, but he was really dope. He was like my Eminem. I was like, yeah, I got me an Eminem. You can't fuck with him. And he's like, right? So it was Slane and Big Left and Danny Boy, you know. And then Ill Bill came around and was like, yo, what is this? Like, and then we did some music I don't know, we were just making music. And then Eric heard it and was like, damn, well, I want to be down too. And then it just turned into La Coca Nostra.
It's tight, man. That's really cool.
We were kind of partying a lot. We were kind of partying a lot. And when Danny Boy I think he's like 13 or 14 years, maybe more sober now.
Oh, is he?
So, but he came in one time and was like, man, you guys get so fucked up so much, you might as well be fucking called La Coca Nostra. You know? Instead of, it's a play on words on La Cosa Nostra.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like this drug of ours. That's what La Coca Nostra means. Instead of La Cosa, this thing of ours. La Coca Nostra is this drug of ours.
Beautiful.
But yeah, this is very, we got some cool, we got Be Real on here.
Are you guys going to do another
Psycho Round. Well, yeah, they put stuff out. I just, for me, I kind of like to concentrate on one thing at a time. I mean, it's, I'm always around if they ever want beats and stuff. I mean, I did this whole first album except for a few tracks. But Ill Bill produces and, it's kind of down to, because Everlast has his solo stuff and he does his Whitey Ford stuff. And, Danny Boy, he bought the Outsider's house from the movie.
He did.
Yeah,
I heard an interview when he did.
So check that out. It's the Outsider's House Museum. And he refurbished the house and he does all kinds of urban exploration. And
that's amazing.
And he's got Francis Ford Coppola's chair from the movies and, wow. Just very cool stuff.
So people can still go to that.
Imagine how many stars were in that movie, dude. Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe. I mean, every dude from that movie is like huge star.
The Outsiders, he bought the home. That's amazing.
Yeah, and so he's doing that. And Ill Bill's rapping, touring, making sick beats, producing. Slane is acting. He was in The Town. He's in some other stuff with Casey Affleck. I mean, yeah. Georgie, I call him George. Hey, George from Boston, eh?
Hey,
yeah, so that's that. La Coca Nostra.
This, so today you're going to sign this, right? We're going to, by giving it away to somebody that shares this video or something.
Yeah, you can see it's like, there's still probably some spilt 40-ounce Mickeys.
This is from your personal collection.
Yeah, I just dug it out. It smells like.
What's it smell like?
Probably some old Mickeys. Mickeys and 40-ounce. White label, promo, jump around.
How many of these
original?
I mean,
these are white label promos. I mean, I don't give away any more of the green vinyl. Mm-hmm. That's for the personal vault because I've already been a little too generous. But this is the Jump Around remixes. So it's got the Pete Rock remix, the Soul Brother dub mix, the Bloodstain remix. Basically, this is the Pete Rock version of Jump Around. promo.
Dude, thank you for bringing this. So I'm gonna definitely give this to somebody. We're gonna sign it.
I mean, I don't know where. Like, I buy my own shit even when if I'm looking around, but this might be one that I bought just on the side just because I see a record trader sticker on it.
Mm-hmm.
It says $3.99, but if you find it for $3.99, let me know because I'll buy them.
Dude, I appreciate you.
Bro, we're gonna sign this and
we're gonna sign it and we're gonna take some
show.
photos and
cool.
Dude, thank you. That's amazing.
Somebody gonna get this. Subscribe, DJ Lethal. Subscribe to all the shit.
It's amazing. I love that.
Look, it even touched all the show stuff. But this is the one from the show. You can tell because of the water stain. Or actually Mickey's 40 ounce. It might be Brass Monkey or who knows.
Funky Monkey.
It might be some
dude,
Old English 800.
Last thing I gotta say.
Night Train.
Thank you, Seth from Crazy Town for hooking this interview
shout
up.
out Seth.
Seth hooked this thing up. Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, man. I'm doing some scratches and stuff on his new stuff.
I love that guy. He's cool.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I've known him forever. So that's the homie. I'm doing some cuts on his new record. It sounds really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it.
I think he's picking out a couple beats too.
Uh-oh.
I hook the homies up. I'm not like, I don't really like go out there and like try to shop beats.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different game. I mean, look at Old Town Road. The kid picked the track out off of YouTube, sounded like beat. Next thing you know, the A&R guy is like, look at me, the biggest thing. And like #1 song. How do you compete with that?
Yeah, but where's he at now?
It's rich, chilling.
Yeah, chilling.
Yeah, I mean, as long as if he's smart. You know who really got rich off it was Trent Reznor. I mean,
oh yeah.
What a surprise fucking call,
Yeah,
right?
I forgot.
Hey Trent, you want the good news or the bad news? Bad news, bro. Some rapper sampled your song. Oh, really? Want to hear the good news? Well, it's fucking #1 for 6 weeks in every fucking country. Oh shit! Hey, him and Atticus were like, "What?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll take 90% of that, please. Thank you."
Yeah.
Who knows? And apparently, it's done. That's his only #1. Trent Reznor.
Oh, that's the only #1. I'm surprised, man. Downward Spiral didn't get.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But what a call they get. Like,
Yeah.
You won the lottery on the side, by the way.
You need that phone call.
Hey, man.
That's the phone call you need, bro. Hey, DJ, thank you for being here, brother, man. This has
Appreciate
been
it.
amazing, man. Thank you
Appreciate
so
having
much,
me,
man.
This is good company.
Good company.